With my face held to the sun. Hey, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I had to run. Y'all come on in. I do what I can, what I can, what I can't. Stand up, take my people with me, going to a place. Y'all come on in. First of all, this podcast is brought to you by Butt Bread. I don't know how many people I got in here because it started over, but my son, the only one, will not go to the store. So I'm having to eat butt bread. Thank you, Philip. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I grew up having to eat it. It's sponsored by Butt Bread. That's the last and the front of the bread. That is what I'm about to sit here and eat. Cause why? I ain't finna leave this house. It's cold. I'll get a headache. My foot won't warm up. And I had some sausage. And I had some eggs, honey. You better remember where you come from whence you came, in Jesus' name. If all else fail and you ain't got no money, baby, cook you a whole egg, bust it down so it's done all the way through. I don't play with no runny egg. If they tell you you can get salmon, whatever it's called, salmon something, then I don't want no raw egg, right? So if all else fail, baby, you can eat an egg. Thank you, son. Butt bread will be today. It shall be my lot and my portion. And I do eat some ketchup on my eggs. Baby, let me tell you something. It's the beginning and the end. It's the butt. I ain't worried about it, and you shouldn't either. Don't come saying you can go get you some. Baby, don't worry about it. I'm not wasting no coins. I've been wasting coins, but I'm not going to waste no more coins. I'm going to be grateful, honey. I found a little light-skinned butt right there. I'm going to be grateful and thankful and blessed and come and give y'all message and get up on off of here. Because I'm short on time. Why? Because I've been studying. And I've been studying a long time since this morning. I've been studying Black history and today's Black history topic. I hope I got some people here from Arkansas. Bless in Jesus' name, Lord, sanctify and purify to the nourishment of my body. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen, amen, amen. I hope all this, look, I've been studying, I've been writing, I've been studying, I've been writing, front and back, front and back, front and back, front and back, all morning to tell y'all this Black history fact. I told y'all I was going to come hard and I was going to come good. I'm going to bless this in Jesus' name. If I did it, I'm doing it again. And I got what I got on because this is going to represent what I'm teaching. I know I look like Pepto-Bismol, but my shoes and everything match. Baby, I'm ready. But this is part of my Bible study for today. All right? I know y'all want to know, but I ain't got enough people on here to tell you. So I'm going to wait till I fill up. So I'm going to get a couple of bites. I'm growing. It's growing. Honey, if anything else, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat what I can. I've been working on my syrup for myself. This is not for sale. I ran out of peach syrup. And I like peach syrup. It's cooling down. I'll let y'all see it. And the store don't sell peach syrup. So, let me show it to y'all. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see nothing. Hold on. This is my peach syrup. And it's cooling down. I'm going to put it in my boiler. I got me 4. I made this for me. And I'm letting it cool. Okay. Let me get where my glasses? All right, I'm finna put my glasses on. Y'all come on in. We got a deep lesson. This is so deep. I hope Jamette was on here. I know she's from Arkansas. Hey, Melanie Crawford, I love you, girl. Y'all making me some peach syrup. Y'all know I used to sell syrup all the time. Sometimes you just feel discouraged and think your work is in vain. Baby, the Holy Ghost said, put something on this dress or you're going to get something in it. So I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to go get a towel. I've been walking with my face held to the sun. Weight on my shoulders. In my I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I had to run. I do what I can when I can for my people. Come on in here. I'm going to take one more bite and we're going to get into this lesson. This is so deep. It's something I did not learn in school. Now, I graduated with a class of 86. Yeah. I'm the original acid wash jeans and jacket. I grew up in that era. I grew up with the Bee Gees. I grew up with Confunction. I grew up with the Ohio Players. I grew up with Boy George. I grew up with Sting and Chicago. That's the era that I grew up in. Honey, I grew up when it was a group called Commission out. And that was Fred Hammond and Marvin Sapp together, baby. I grew up in the good days when you had blue light in the basement parties. I come to tell you, I didn't learn this in school. So I'm looking for somebody that's from Arkansas because today's spotlight is on Arkansas. That's right. It's on Arkansas. Hey, Willie, I've been studying all day. That's why I ain't called you. Y'all, Willie said, you didn't call me. Ain't that something? Ooh, people so, beside themselves. Willie is my pronunciator. So this Black History moment is going to blow your mind. Anybody in here from Arkansas? Hey, Pre-Him. Oh, you ain't have none. Sorry, Slim, Fit, and Thick. Butt bread. Talking out of folks. Willie! Canada Dry. This is 7.5 ounces. Shalonda, y'all getting in here. We finna talk. Y'all better tell your friend and tell a friend. Mama Tracy finna spit. I'm not a witch doctor or a fake healer. I won't sell your dreams like a car dealer. I am the light. L-Y-F-E. Have y'all heard of what happened in Arkansas? Oh! Stay on the phone, y'all. Slim Fit. But he gonna be thick. I'm trying to eat this sauce and the egg with a ketchup on it. Y'all ready? Can I get a head count? Because it ain't showing. And y'all know the rule now. Pay attention to them stars. Because y'all know what number I have to get to every day. It's a must. Y'all better see if that star button is working. I'm ready to start. But is that star button working? Thank you. I got somebody from Arkansas. I'm going to clear my mouth. Honey, that's more than enough. I need 300 is more, 300 something is more than enough. Hey, Mother Eva Yates. You about 10 years? Yeah, you sure are. The spirit of 76. I can't eat and talk about them. So I'm going to take the rest of my sandwich and put it over here. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get into the story time? Miss Patricia Davis, I love you, honey. I did a little snip on Washington and U Street. You probably weren't on here that day. Today I'm talking about Arkansas. My spotlight. Now, if you want to keep this in your memory, and if you want to do some research, I'm going to call the names out that I'm going to talk about. These characters. I'm going to call some of them out so you'll know when I start talking about them how I'm going to cover them, okay? All right, look like it's working. Miss Carolyn Bishop, who gave me my book, The Last Days of Totally Gray. Here's your highlighter for Miss Patricia Davis. She's very educated. I will be talking about what happened in Elaine, Arkansas. And it happened for 3 days. Elaine, Arkansas, I'm going to call it the Arkansas Massacre, was from September the 30th to October the 3rd. And my grandmama's birthday is September the 30th. Here are some of the people's names that you're going to have to remember. Walter White, Ida B. Wells, the school teacher. She didn't have a name. Also, you need to remember the dentist, Dr. Johnson. You need to remember, hold on. You need to remember who the governor was. You need to remember the white attorney's name was Ulysses S. Barrett. And the governor's name was, because I got all my notes, hold on. And I'm going to tell the story. Governor Broham. All right? Now, this is how the story goes. We're going to go all the way back to before everything took place. So, all this started happening. This is considered the bloodiest massacre of 1919. So, all of the massacre started on September the 30th, 1919 in Elaine, Arkansas. Elaine, like somebody's name. Right outside of Little Rock, from what it showed me when I was looking at the train path and the close people, and Little Rock, Arkansas was bigger. So basically, this was during the time when slavery was over with. You could not have slaves, right? 1919, slavery was over. This was during the time where slaves had nowhere to go. So the owners of the land that they worked said, I'll make a deal with you. Now remember, there's two different people that we're dealing with. The owners of the land and the sharecroppers. Well, the ex-slaves who are now considered African-American Negroes stayed where they were because they had nowhere to go. They didn't get their 40 acres and a mule. We were lied to. But they made a deal with them and they said, this is what we're going to do. If y'all work our land, we'll split it with you. Right? For your labor. The problem was they were getting more of it than what they gave to the slaves. The second problem was they would go out and the owners of the land had no problem making good money off of the cotton, off of whatever crop that they were doing. They got paid full price for their cotton and all their vegetables and everything. But when the black people, the ex-slaves, went to town and sold their stuff, they got a fraction of what the owners got. So the sharecroppers, who are the ex-slaves, got a fraction. Then when they would go to restock, they charged them more for the product that they needed to plow their sides of the field. So basically, the slaves were upside down. They were basically working for free, and they basically didn't have no money. Well, this is where it's all finna get started. Remember the names I said. Walter White. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Walter White. Walter White was a black man. He was mixed. But Walter had blonde hair and blue eyes. So remember, he passed for white. He passed for reasons, though. Ida B. Wells. We're going to talk about her one day. But Ida B. Wells, she was a journalist, and she had her own newspaper. And Ida lived in Mississippi, and she played a part in this, okay? And then the school teacher told her side of the story to the news, okay? And so I just want you to remember these people. So let's go on and get into it. Y'all with me? So you know that the owners of the land is versus the sharecroppers, which is the ex-slaves. So the slaves decided to get together. Let me get my phone. I took pictures for y'all. So there was about 100 slave owners, all right? And they got tired of this. So they decided to get together. And they ended up in a little small town in Mississippi. And the name of that town is, I'm going to show you the picture too. Hold on. Let me tell you. I don't know why I didn't put this in my footnote like I did the other stuff. Hold on, now I got to find it because I wrote all this stuff out. Okay. They met in Hoop Spur, Arkansas. I'm going to show you the men that gathered. I'm going to show you Hoop Spur, Arkansas. Let me get to my pictures. This is going to be such an amazing. I'm going to take my time. Okay. I'm going to show you the group of men. I'm going to show you who stirred this thing up. Okay. And then we're going to go from there. Okay. Here we go. Just listen to my voice. Just listen to my voice. So these were the sharecroppers of the land. It was about 100 men that agreed to meet. Hold on. I got one more picture. I'm going to go back to these. This man right here, it was led by the farmer Robert L. Hill. All right. He wanted to get all them together. Okay. Hold on one second. They met right here at this little church in Hope Spur, Arkansas. All right. You see? Wasn't very much or nothing. All right. Y'all with me? So when the sharecroppers, it was 100 of them, decided to meet in that little church I just showed you in Hope Spur, Arkansas. They had hired an attorney from Little Rock to come and help them and to see what could be done. So they hired this attorney named Ulysses Barrett. And Ulysses S. Barrington met them in Hoop Spur, Arkansas at the church. And they were telling them the injustice, how they was charging them so much, all this stuff. They were just having a simple meeting on September the 30th. And the white man That's a white man they hired from another city to come and help them. And he was just listening. All of a sudden, a mob, I'm going to say of gangsters, pulled up at that church. And they started shooting. And the black people shot back. Y'all with me? And when the shootout took place, there was one white man. I'm finna find his name. He was dead. And the deputy was injured. Okay? So the people were meeting, and Robert informed it, and they expressed how they were getting cotton and they were selling it and buying supplies, and for the next season they didn't have enough money because they were robbing them. And now this is what got it started. Robert and them said, can we get some receipts on how much we paying for our cotton? See, you can get too smart as a black person. And then they began to say that was disrespectful. And they told him, because y'all was slaves. Now you going to question us and ask for receipts for how much we selling you seeds for and how much we paying you. And so the white man was upset. And the owners of the grounds was upset. And so when the smoke ended from the shooting where the people pulled up, honey, W.A. Atkins was unalived, and a deputy named Charles Pratt was injured. There was another deputy. Now keep in mind, why was these deputies with these men? Who was W.A.? I don't know. So the other deputy got on the phone, called the Mississippi, of course, and told them to round up the boys, from my understanding, and to head to Elaine, Arkansas, because us black folk had done it in, basically, we had done it in, how can I put it? I don't want to use that word because you may not understand it. Basically, we had done a murder, and we had done an injustice, and we had broke the law. And when they ended up coming, they gathered people everywhere because of the insurrection. And they got hillbillies, and they came by cars, they came by trains, and they came by boats. Now this is what was so dumb. When they entered into this town of Elaine, if they saw you and you were black, they just shot you. They just shot you on the spot. They were shooting people sitting on their porches. They were shooting people walking up and down the street. Nobody knows what's going on because these people just at home. But these folks been told they done an insurrection and to get here. And they done killed a white man and they have injured a deputy. And they arrived there and they began to just shoot. Now remember, we don't, let me help you out because I should have said this first. What I should have told you was in the Midwest, and especially in Elaine, Arkansas, the ratio to black to white was 10-1. There was more blacks in that whole town. It was almost a black town. It was 10-1 ratio, okay? And the black people was building that town and they were taking a stand. And so anyway, they went and sent. And so it got so bad that the governor, did I tell y'all the governor's name? He was a crook too. His name was Charles Hillman Broham. He called for help. Now he set out to get a troop from Camp Pike. And they had like 500 people in this troop. And they were supposed to be coming to help the black people. Yeah, right. And they were supposed to be coming to help. And it was supposed to be a martial law. And it was supposed to be a state of emergency to shut this thing down, the governor said. But they didn't come to help the black people. Because the black people was winning. So they got on the side to help the crazy hillbillies is what I'm going to call them. And they began to do the same thing. Now, this thing went on for 3 days. It got so bad that the governor told the white women, he knew what was going on. Because when the troops was on their way, the governor told all the white women and their children to leave this town and go to Little Rock. So they got on the train and they took all the white women and the children, the white children, out of this town. Y'all, this is bad. Y'all, this is so bad. The name of this day is called Bloody, let me see, hold on. The name of this day that took place is called the Bloodiest Massacre of 1919, the Red Summer. Okay? That's where they coined the name Red Summer, because the bloodshed and that flooded throughout the streets and the unlivened massacre of black people. Well, we just getting started, right? So this thing is going back and forth, pow, 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 boom, 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 boom. So guess what happens? Black people don't have as much ammunition. Black people don't have everything. So they gather up about 285 to 235, 285 black people. They start arresting them. Here's the problem. Elaine jail only held 45 blacks. It can only hold 45 people. Small jail. So they reached out to other counties and other cities and said, can we house these black people that have destroyed this town? They're going to be going up to go to court. It's about 285. So they created this concentration camp. And they put the black people in a concentration camp. And then they shipped them out to different places, right? Because they couldn't hold them, right? So then all of a sudden, we hear about this, right? People, other black people that used to do something, black people that used to work together, the NAACP when it was really real, the NAACP when it stood for something, and you would hear from them, that would be questioning why somebody want to open up Martin Luther King's files, but that's a whole nother story. Stay focused, Trace. So the NAACP hears about what's going on in Elaine, Arkansas. That they done been killing all these black people, and they fighting over there, and they done sent help. They done sent 500 people from a troop out of Camp Pike, and they just killed them some black people up. Now, I want you to understand, they lieutenant is a liar, and the governor is a liar. Because they come and say they only killed, he said 2 people. The governor said 10. Child, they can get their stuff together. Stay focused. Send some hearts. I don't know if the star button working, and I don't know if the heart button is working. I'm going to have to go on my phone and check. Why? Because my comments have stopped. And y'all could be asking me questions. So hold on, I can't show y'all the pictures I want to show y'all until I can see why the comments have stopped. I got more pictures to show y'all too. So, the long and the short of it is, and it's long, it's more long than short. The long and the short of it is, look at that picture of Tabitha Brown and her husband. Ooh, amazing. The long and the short of it is, they say, no, this ain't going to work. So the NAACP comes up with a great idea. And the NAACP says, we need to send some people down there. We got to get somebody in here. They said, I see some comments now. Miss Iris Polk said, my papa had to run from home for questioning his sharecroppers countings. Can you believe it was only 10 cents? I believe it. Jim Matt is on here now. So now Jeanette is on here. We talking about Arkansas. We talking about the biggest massacre in Arkansas that happened September the 30th, 1919. Yeah, that's what we talking about. We talking about Elaine, Arkansas, right outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. And that's where we coined the saying the red summer. It comes from the bloodiest summer, that happened in Arkansas, where all the blood was shed of black people. So anyway, let's get back into it. So the NAACP had to figure out how can we get in here to see all these black people that have been arrested. How can we get in? Woo-wee, honey. I love the NAACP back then. Baby, the NAACP said, we gonna surprise them. Go get Walter White. Y'all remember I told y'all Walter White looked white. Honey, Walter White had blonde hair. I'm gonna show you Walter. I think I got a pic. See, okay, I can't read comments because I can't do this and show you Walter White. Let me show y'all Walter. Walter had blonde hair, and he had blue eyes, and he passed as a white man. Now he passed as a white man, not for his own glory. I'm gonna show it to you now. Don't be scared. This is a black man. Come on now, come get with it. He was mixed, okay? There go Walter. And in person, Walter had blonde hair, and he had blue eyes. Walter Francis White was his name. There you go. That's him. Look at him. And I would think he was a white man too. Baby, Walter White went up there for the NAACP. And he talked to that governor, Broham. And Broham let him. Let me tell you what Broham did. Broham gave him a handshake. Broham gave him permission to go and talk to the people of the town. Because prior to this, Broham had told the mayor of the town to write a letter and put it in the newspaper and tell the black people they bet not speak on what happened or worse is going to happen. But he thought this was a white man that was coming on his behalf to represent them. So he allowed him to come in. He allowed him to interview white people as well as black people. Baby, he was honored. He thought it was one of the best things that could happen. He was excited that somebody was going to tell that story. Now remember, the governor is Broham and the general is Jenkins, and both of them told lies. That's just a whole nother story. I can't see no comments, so swipe to the left and to the right. I'm going to go back later, but I can't see them right now. It won't even let me swipe them. And so when Walter gets there, the governor gives him his blessings. He gives him a letter of recommendation. He told him to interview the people. So Walter goes through this town and he interviews white people and black people, about 100 of them. He interviews them and get what really happened. Now I'm finna tell you, I told you to remember the names. So here we go. So he interviews about 100 people in all. So there was a white school teacher, and she tells him that it was about 237 black people that was killed, and that they had took in about over 285 black people. I'm not done with this story, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. This is my talk for today. Well, baby, when Walter gets through, because he got to leave early, because they done found out that Walter is white. So Walter catches the first train out of Elaine and get back up there to Arkansas. But by then, he already knows what's going on. So they send in another brave woman, and she decides to go in. Her name is Ida B. Wells. She go in as a sharecropper herself. Into the town. Because she wants the story because she got her own newspaper. Eventually, they run her out of her town in Mississippi. You know how Mississippi is. She ends up in Chicago, but we ain't going to talk about her right now. And so Ida comes down there to get the information because she got a newspaper called The Crisis and the Crusade. So the long story and the short story is that the newspaper article gets put in. Crisis and the Crusade. Walter tells what happened. Ida B is telling what happened. What really happened. Right? These white people is crazy. When I tell you they crazy, in this story they crazy. The hillbillies, I'm sorry. They crazy. Because there was a doctor. Remember I told you about the doctor, Dr. Johnson? Him and his brother been gone. They was gone. They wasn't even here when this stuff was going on. He was a dentist. They were coming back. They were pulled off the train. They were beaten. And they were abused and they were unlifed. And they never knew what was going on. If you were spotted, when your mama used to tell you to get in the house and stay in the house, I grew up in that day and age when those 3Ks would come through. And my mother would tell us we couldn't go outside. All right? And so anyway, this gets out. Baby, the governor, Broham of Elaine, Arkansas, say, y'all better do something. Y'all better do something. He calling around trying to stop the newspaper from getting where they are. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of some people so you'll know who I'm talking about. So you can pretty much imagine he's a liar and the person that was with him. So this is your governor, your great governor of Elaine. Now you can look at him and tell he wasn't hitting on that. And this was his ace Kundun. This is the one. This is the colonel that was supposed to come through and help us with the situation, right? This is the sharecroppers. They were sending out letters like this. Negroes plain, kill all. And they didn't. This came out the new Negroes plan to unlife all white people. They were basically acting as though we were out. So hold on. I'm going to tell you about them. I got to skip for a minute. He was the one that started the meeting. This is where they had the meeting. This is what he formed. When they were in that meeting, they came up with the Progressive Farmers and Household Union of America. And this was supposed to treat them equal and make them pay the same amount for their seed that other people paid for theirs. Hold on. Wait a minute, I'm going the wrong way. I got to go back. Okay, it's somebody you need to see. Hold on, not him. You done seen him. He passed for white. These people right here. These are called the Arkansas 12, the Elaine 12. All right? These are the 12 men that's going to blow your mind. Hold on, let me turn around. I need to see y'all. I'm going to blow this up. These are the Arkansas 12. All right? These 12 men were sentenced to death. Turn it to the side. They were sentenced to death. They didn't have nothing to do with it. Out of all the people that they arrested, they decided to pick Elaine 12. 12 black men who had the death penalty put on their heads. This gets ugly, y'all. I'm going to see what y'all are saying because I haven't... They were saying that we had created, and they were putting plots up. This was in the newspaper. It said Arkansas blacks confessed to the plot. They didn't confess to nothing. Negroes plot white massacre. It was not truthful. This is a part of the article of the newspaper about Arkansas riot leaders are arrested in Livingston, Alabama. And it talks about a Negro from there arrested today in New York. And it says that he is a suspect of being at Burt Hill, allegedly the leader of the recent uprising at Elaine, Arkansas. That is not how it happened. The Negro fits the description of the Hill, but papers find on, I don't know, some of it's cut off, to indict that he is Hill. So they were going around picking up black people and basically saying that they were confessing. And this is how this piece looked. Hold on. It looked like this. I'm trying to put it in the dark. Hold on. Let me turn it to the side. Let me see if I can get y'all to see it better. I'm going to blow it up. Hold on. I'm going to blow it up. This is so hard to teach y'all. I really need a tripod and stuff. See, they had blamed this on someone else. And they were talking about Elaine. And they were saying that a Negro had fitted. They were arresting people everywhere, trying to make this be like a movement everywhere. So now, let me go back to Facebook because I hate my comments are not moving. So I got to go back to Facebook for a minute before I show y'all anything else. See what y'all saying. Comments are frozen. I'm frozen too. It look like I am. All right. Am I going too fast? Am I losing you people? I'm looking to see. This was not a... Okay, can I... Okay, help me. Let me get right here. This really ain't about the money. It ain't never been about the money. It ain't even about the money right now in our government. It's about power. Now I got to tell y'all about the 12 Negroes. And I got to tell y'all that this still was going on since 2003. I got eyes in the back of my head, ooh, just in case I had to run. Baby, this right here, they still trying to pardon 6 of these men. Since 2003, and the governor ain't never signed the paperwork. Six of them, they had lied and said they went to court. They had lied and said they had a fair trial. The 12 never went. The Elaine 12 never went to court. They didn't have, they were, see, it's one more man in this story. How we know what happened, because Ida B. Wells, she went in there. She was pretending to be a sharecropper. She gets their testimonies while they're in jail. There was one man named L.F. A-L-F Banks Jr. And L.F. Banks Jr. said that they were being treated any kind of way. They were being tortured. They were sticking ammonia and different things up their noses and beating them, asking them to confess that they the reason why all this stuff took place. And they was refusing to. They just randomly selected 12 men to kill. Unlike NAACP was doing their job back then, baby. The NAACP was sending people in left and right. This is in 1919. See, what y'all don't understand, this kind of stuff, let me make sure I got my characters. This kind of stuff was because people were mad and angry because they could no longer have slaves. There could be no longer no slave farm having them. See, they created slave farms themselves because they couldn't bring no more in from Africa after the transatlantic slave trade was no longer. You couldn't bring them in by ship. The last ship that came in was in Alabama, supposedly. We talked about it. So they created slave farms where they got slaves, and they weren't supposed to have them, but they was already in America. They didn't free them, and they breeded them. They was making them come in, and I probably wouldn't have. Let me help somebody out. Let me help somebody. See, I can't do nothing with what y'all saying. Not on the right page. I'm trying to pull myself together. Cause I was just thinking about them slave breeding farms. Cause I probably wouldn't want to have no baby. I didn't like carrying no baby. I probably would have pushed one out, but I'd have helped. I'm just gonna leave it like. I know Jermaine. Calvin ain't on here, so I can't do nothing about it. Thank you, babe. I'd have probably helped breed some slaves. Like I'd have been in a part of it if they needed me. That's just a whole nother. Let's just stay focused. But they created these, breeding places. They treated us like animals, basically, and they would get slaves together and breed more slaves. But the problem was that they were free. That's the same thing like Ida B. Wells. She was free from the Emancipation Proclamation. Even though she lost her mother and her father and her brother, how they used to have all that stuff coming through. They died from, I can't remember, I'm going to talk about her later. But they would breed them, and around the United States, they had different breeding places. And they transported slaves via the Mississippi River. And that's why I tell y'all all the time, Mississippi going to have to be careful. Because Elon is buying up land, and Trump is trying to produce all our stuff in America. Ain't going to happen. If we could have handled everything, we wouldn't have never been bargaining and never been doing it and never allowing other people to do it. That's how you make America go around. That's how you make the country go around. Everybody needs something from the other country. We are not independent in and of ourselves. Do y'all understand? A lonely person can tell you it's not good being alone. A lonely person that sits by themselves, just like if you dealing with depression, you can be in a room full of people, but you by yourself. You by yourself. Stay tuned. Now I got to show y'all something. So understand that other people back in those days were less than human. They had so much hate in their hearts, and they had no feeling. Have you ever questioned why we are hated too much by them? Well, here's the thing. I believe I have a whole concept on why I think they came to Africa. I have a whole concept to why they came. Because the Bible comes from that region. Greatness, I hate to say that, but that's the truth. Bible study is going to be today, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to talk on. But let me finish this up. So anyway, bringing it all the way up, this Midwest issue that's going on, Arkansas, sharecroppers take a stand against their masters. It's everywhere. They're making up lies in the paper. They want to kill these black men. But the black people stood together, and they said, no, these people didn't do it. They didn't have nothing to do with it. They freed them, and then the other ones, they let them go, okay? But some of them still to this day have that stigma against their names. But in 2023, the governor of Arkansas was supposed to sign the paperwork indicating and freeing these men's names free of no charges, as though they had anything to do with this massacre. Let me tell you, Arkansas, I believe I have said this over and over, that each city got a spirit hanging over it. Each state got its own set of problems. Atlanta got a homosexual, honey. It hangs over there. The same way in Houston, they are gathering together. Everybody moving from Atlanta, they moving to Houston because they got that spirit. Chicago got a killing spirit. Arkansas to this day got a killing spirit. We moved our holy convocation from Memphis because of the crime. Memphis is the #1 place in the United States for murder. Worse than a third world country. I'm going to put on what I'm going to get ready to teach on Bible study. Because sometimes it comes from what you know a person is. It comes from jealousy. And then I said what I said when I said what I said. It comes from jealousy. We have older houses from the Underground Railroad. We live in along the Mississippi River. That's where they exported slaves, along the Mississippi River. All right? Now y'all get ready, because I'm finna blow your mind. Excuse me 1 second. I'm gonna bend down. I'm back. I do what I can when I can, what I can for my people. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me, we're gonna talk about a coat of many colors today in Bible study. Oh, it pairs into what we're talking about even yet today. How the massacres was done. This is my coat of many colors. And it's amazing how a gift can mess up one's life. A beautiful gift. So basically, I'm not sure yet because I wasn't through studying. I don't know what state Elaine, Arkansas is today. I don't know if it ever thrived. I don't know if it was ever built, because this study, y'all, was so long. I've been on this since this morning about 10, and I couldn't come live. Little Rock, let me see. And we didn't learn this in school. Little Rock, Arkansas made a documentary show on HBO talking about the gang, drugs, and the murder. I've not seen a documentary on the Elaine 12. I haven't seen a documentary on Elaine, Arkansas. And I am surprised, because this is the bloodiest massacre of 1919. After no more slaves. After the Emancipation Proclamation. I don't know. We had so much. This really wasn't about a couple of cents. About how much. This was about power. It ain't never been about the money. It's always about the power. It ain't even about money right now. It's about power. Thank you. It's about power. It's about power. I don't know how long I'm going to stay in here, because I've been and had a hot class. You are making Arkansas look bad. I'm making Arkansas look bad. Everybody got story. I'm not going to even go back and forth with you. I'm making it look bad because of your people. That's why you think it's looking bad. Jamette is from Arkansas. This is history. You better go do your research. It ain't California no more. It used to be California, but Memphis moved up. As your map can tell you, there's a documentary on Little Rock. There's just never been a documentary on Elaine, Arkansas. Nobody can make, we all got a story. I'm from the South. I could tell you stuff that happened in Georgia. Don't forget we got Rosewood. Don't forget Georgia got their stuff. This is Black history. If I'm making you look bad, you shouldn't have done it. We made it. Somehow we made it. The problem now is we got to quit letting y'all make us hurt each other. This is history. I can't make you look bad. I looked it up. I do research. If it wasn't out there, I wouldn't know it. I'm just telling you that from September the 30th to October the 3rd, it was the worst massacre of 1919. And it just happened to happen in a small town. Not the biggest town. Not Little Rock. They were sending for people for Little Rock to come help them down there in Elaine. They were sending for people from Mississippi. It shouldn't have never happened. Just because somebody asked you to give them what's just to them. Just because you still was mad that they were not slaves. And they were sitting there working the same land that they were slaves on because they had nowhere to go. Because our government, see what y'all don't even understand with the government. There's a documentary on Elaine on YouTube. Is it? You mean to tell me all this work? I didn't see it. But you know what? I didn't go to YouTube. Thank you, but I'm going to go watch it. Because I could have missed some of it. But I'm going to tell you this much. I think about what's going on right now with the government. See, the government is playing in our face, right? That's why I tell you it's a higher power. Because we all know that our government is doing some of the same stuff right now. We know this. I don't know how many people I got on here, but we know this. And I don't see the star button working, so I'm going to be quiet. Let me tell you, this is how the chain of command goes with the government. I can tell you about Gilma, Texas, how they hung my uncle and set him on fire because he was caught with a white girl. I wish you would give it to me, Laura Jones. I'll talk about it. Let me tell y'all what I do know. There's a chain of command that takes place with our government. The president don't make all the decisions. They used to didn't. If Muskie finds problems, him and some more people that he's fired, if they find what's wrong in our government, they're supposed to take it to our Congress. And the Congress consists of the Senate and so forth like that. And then you got judges, Supreme Court. All that falls under there. You don't take it to the president. The president don't make the decisions. We just like the British government. The parliament makes the decision. That's why we have a Congress. But he's bypassing our government and going directly to the president. That's out of order. That's power. That is not a democracy. That's a dictatorship. And that's what they're trying to form. They could not do that unless there were the parties in agreement with it for them to bypass every representative from every state. That messes up the dividing of the 13 original colonies. You don't even have to know politics to understand why you got a Speaker of the House. You don't have to have politics to understand that Congress is made up of both parties, along with your judges. And so you take your findings to them. You don't take it to the president and you and one more person make a decision. sitting here, middle class people, being dogged. It is not a black thing. It's a middle class thing. I told y'all 3 years ago. I've been saying it longer than that. We're not working together. So therefore, we're going to have to keep doing the obstacle course over and over. We're making history as the dumbest country in the world. Well, why would you say that? Because everybody already didn't like us. They were already envious of how America had excelled because they had middle class. Third world countries were greedy. They don't want it. Either you got it or you don't. That's how it goes. You can go right now to Dubai. It's rich. It's a playground for Muslims. That's why you go there and you'll be in a world of trouble if you don't play. You're not going to sit around now passing out no pamphlets and talking about your God. Only in America can they take God out. That's why they so prosperous. They deal with the God of their salvation. And they don't play. They don't accept nothing. You can talk about them. They don't accept nothing. You're not going to curse in their country. You're not going to dress provocative. You're not going to be affectionate outside of your house. You're not going to do a lot of things. You're not going to eat in public transit. You're not going to talk back to a man. Only in America. Only in America. You don't even have to worry. You swear at somebody, they call the police, your butt being in jail for about a year.
You can't be affectionate at all. You cannot not kiss it. You can't even hold hands. No, it's a Muslim country. See, they're rich. That's it. And then the crowd goes around. The other sides that you don't see. Because see, Dubai is the Vegas of the Muslims. That's where the people with the money live. That's how they flaunt. Africa for the oil and the diamonds. You go to South Africa, baby, they do the same thing. Half of the people, they live between Dubai and South Africa. They're rich. Dirt rich. Dirt rich. But then you go on the outskirts, they're poor. Your sound is off. Go out and come back in. Go out. Come back in. Go out and come back in. Is it still doing it?